like to point out that the climate change is not only what we see, as I mentioned. I have been working on mold and exposure to mycotoxin, which cause huge health effects. And what we are seeing, and I've been working in this area for the last 5 years, what we are seeing is an increase in fungal infection. Molds are fungi, so an increase in fungal infections in US, even in the US, and in other countries where we have this flooding will result in much higher incidences of mold. And that would actually cause even more health issues in the region where, which is already vulnerable to all these climate change issues. There are, so when we talk about the climate, not only climate change, but we talk about the pollution. So my, in addition to climate change and impact on climate change, most of my work is on environmental pollution. We see a lot of things which are coming from industries, and in Pakistan it is not that regulated. These are dumped into the river or any water bodies, and eventually it gets either inside into the groundwater, or even when the plants are grown on those fields, plants can pick up some of these heavy metals and result in severe health effects. We need to educate and need some kind of strategy how to use our own television stations. There are so many now, but none, I have not seen any to do any outreach, trying to tell the general public what are the impacts of certain things, why we are government, or what are the issues. We need to emphasize on some of the catastrophe which we know what happened in Japan, which is Minamata Bay, and some other historical issues with the industrial pollution causing severe neurological or bone which we started to break. It's called ouch disease. So there are a lot of things which we need to reach out to people, because a lot of people don't have any understanding, and it is my what I think, that the people are not dumb. They just need the right information. And how are we gonna reach out to them? How are we gonna provide those information? Is there something which I would want to see, that the general public is aware of the issues, and then they of course will make a very wise decision. Unknown, something which you have the knowledge to make a decision. And I think that is the key to a lot of environmental issues, because the general public don't think what is going on, and what will the impact of certain things, certain activities, or certain things they do and don't even realize. Pollution, we dump our wastewater into oceans and rivers. Have we ever thought what happened to the fish and all the benthic population of animals? How do they pick up? Where it eventually, what goes around comes around. So are we educating our youth, our population, that okay, we don't do this because this will happen if you do that? It is not only causing the impact on fish, and I work on microplastic working on in Manila Bay in fish. So we look into not only the fact that these are getting into fish and other animals which we consume, and eventually we got exposed to, but also how this is impacting our economy. these the shrimp was one of our one of the biggest industry. Now it is contaminated because all these untreated water is getting in, and all these chemicals are in the shrimp and fish population. We cannot even sell those shrimps and fish to the rest of the world because of course we surpassed the cutoff limit of the concentration. Another thing which personally think that we are dumping just the wastewater should be treated, should be accumulated, should be used as a soil amendment, which is a huge positive plus to to our agriculture. So some of the things with these, there are a lot of things which I can think of and come, but these are some of the major issues which I think I want to see some of the development, some of the improvements, and one of the major thing is reaching out to our people and letting them know what are the environmental and health issues they may encounter
Thank
by
you.